a moment to make sure the video is starting. Hi, it's Fiona here from Informed Health, and I'm talking to you about stress, managing difficult times this morning. My neighbour's mowing their lawn. Hopefully they don't get too close. I'll do my best to keep my voice up. Hopefully the sound's okay. So, stressful times. Well, I don't know where you are in the world, but I'm in the Hawkesbury. So we've had floods here and bridges closed and difficulty travelling at the moment. So luckily though we haven't been flooded ourselves, but I know many people who have been. And it's very, very challenging time. And whether it's wherever you are in the world, there's stressful things going in the world and stressful things happen. So we all have difficult times that we need to manage. And this week I had just a personal matter, but I had just a family matter that happened that caused a lot of stress for a little while. And what I wanted to talk to you is just about managing difficult times. So the thing is, you can guarantee that difficult times are going to happen because this is life, and life isn't always easy. And what's that song? Some days are diamonds, some days are stones. It's just the reality. You have good times and bad times, and that's just part of life. So it's not about whether or not you're going to have challenging times, it's how you manage it. And of course, sometimes it's a survival thing. You just got to do whatever you have to do, and that's fair enough. You just have to do whatever you have to do on that day or at that time to survive, and that is just what you need to do. But what you can do though, and what you do. So for example, this week for a few days, I was very busy doing something, but I did manage. Once the worst of it was over, I was out walking every day, and I ate too much chocolate for 3 or 4 days, but then I was like, okay, that's it. Back to my usual chocolate portions and not sort of just using chocolate to manage my emotions. So, and I've been able to walk 2 or 3 times a day this week. So I've been doing that because I needed to, because I got extra stress hormones in my system, and I needed to get out and I needed to walk them through, and I needed to stop using the chocolate as the stress management. So I did more walking to make up for it, right? So essentially what I did is when it hit the fan, I was eating too much chocolate and I wasn't doing as much self-care, and I was just dealing with the thing I had to deal with. But what I did is just consciously sort of go, all right, Fiona, I know you're doing the chocolate. That's a thing. You can do that today. You can maybe do that tomorrow. But all right, now stop the chocolate. Let's go out for a walk. And I started practicing self-care. So self-care is not being harsh on yourself when you do hit the chocolate or whatever it is that you do sometimes, because we do these things and sometimes it's hard to deal with stress and emotions. But self-care is also putting boundaries around it and sort of saying, all right, that's enough, right? So self-care is say you would for a friend, or if it was a child or someone like that, you would kind of go, you might give them a day or two or whatever it is to do the chocolate thing or whatever it is, but then you say, all right, that's enough. Now what we're going to do to manage that stress, we're going to go for a walk, or we're going to listen to some music that we really love. And I've done a lot of that this week actually too. I've put lots of music on that I really loved, music that makes me dance, and music that reminds me of good things or whatever, but just music that I could really connect to. And that's what you do, right? So you kind of go, okay, we're now moving out of this and we're moving into this. And I did the same thing last year. Last year I spent a month with my mother, like I was there with her every day in palliative care, and that was very stressful. And there wasn't a lot I could do, but I could remember to breathe, and I could walk every day. Except for one day I was able to sort of just walk up a hill near the hospital, and I was able to go out and see the sunset, because literally there's a balcony off palliative care. I was able to walk out and watch the sunset every day before I went back in and dealt with the evening things. And so it's about like, what can you do? And sometimes what you can do in a stressful situation is quite minimal, but you still can do something. It might just be breathing. But it's just knowing, or if people ask you, what do you need, you probably need a decent protein meal, right? So they could bring that to you, because sometimes we say, oh, I don't need it, we don't know what to ask for, and sometimes it's the chocolate, and that's fine, but it's just self-care. Self-care is putting boundaries around that and knowing when that's done and knowing when it's time to move on. And self-care is about just looking for opportunities to look after yourself, and it might look different on a day-to-day basis. So managing stress isn't about sitting on a mountain every day and doing big long meditations. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not about sort of like an unrealistic idea. It's about managing day-to-day stuff. And it's also understanding that what we tend to do is if we can't do it, we won't do it at all. So we just eat crap, don't move our body, we just do all the things that aren't going to work for us because we think, oh, well, I'm too stressed, it's too much, I can't do any of that right now. But and that's because we've made any of that we have to go to the gym, or that we have to cook a perfect meal, or that we have to do 40-minute meditation. You don't have to do that. You can do just 1 minute of just making sure you're breathing, right? Just when you go to the loo or something, right? Or when you're walking down the hall from one room to the next. Okay, just make sure I'm breathing. You can do that, right? Or you can just quickly grab an extra glass of water because you're dehydrated. So it's just knowing that there are things you can do, and when you're at the height of stress, it's like little tiny things, but that's little tiny things that can make a really big difference. It might be just putting your headphones in and listening to a song you like for 3 minutes, just as a break in between the waves of the things that's going on for you, right? So when it's really high stress and when you're in the moment, it's like, what are the little things you can do to help manage your stress? And then it's like in the days following that and in the recovery, it's having that ability to, yes, be kind to yourself and have compassion to yourself, but also being able to say to yourself, right, okay, now we're done with the chocolate solution, that was fine, but now we're going to go with the walking solution, or putting on music I love instead of dancing around, or let's go shopping and get some real food in the house, or whatever it is. So stress management is about assessing it on the day and going, what does self-care look like today? And what self-care looks like today might be quite different tomorrow, might be quite different to next week, and that's fine. But what we tend to do, it's the old-fashioned saying, is that we throw the baby out with the bathwater. So we say, well, I can't do the gym, and then, oh, I can't do anything. And we almost go to the point where we go the opposite, and we just sabotage ourselves, when there might be tiny little things you can do. So really managing stressful times and dealing with stressful and difficult times, a big part of that is going, every morning you're saying to yourself, what does self-care look like for me today? Or assessing it throughout the day. And it might mean the best I can do today is just make sure I breathe occasionally. Okay, well then you do that. If you can add a glass of water, you do that. If you can add a walk, do that too. Or if you can put on a song you like and dance around for 2 or 3 minutes, do that. Or if you're waiting around in the hospital for someone, go and find the stairs, walk up and down the stairs. I've done that in the hospital. You just go and walk up and down the stairs until you puff yourself out, right? That's something you can do. And what it does is it helps move the stress hormones out of your system, all right? So it's not a matter of you're not going to have stress. It's not a matter of completely avoiding it because stress happens. It's life. But it's just a matter of daily sort of saying, what can I do? How can what can I do for self-care today? What does it look like? And it might be very minimal, or it might be huge, because it might be after the thing and now you can go and get a massage, and you're going to go to the gym and get a massage and hang out with your girlfriends at the spa and get a facial, whatever it is. Wonderful, that's great, but it's just not realistic as a day-to-day thing for many people. And when you're going through a stressful event, probably not at all. So it's about, what does it look like on the really bad days, what does it look like on the really good days, and what does it look like on the days in between. And basically, if you've got all your tools that you use for stress management, you pull on and use the tools that are available for you on that day. And just making sure you're just calming your breathing is available to you, so you can do that. And you can do that anywhere. So look, these are the sort of strategies that you will learn in our Stress Less program, which starts on Monday week, the 21st, and it's only $97 for a 6-week program. And throughout that program, you'll be in a private Facebook group, and these are the sorts of things we're teaching you. We will look at nutrition, we will look at stress management strategies, so what I talked about today, but we'll in detail look at the different strategies. We'll look at emotional eating and how to manage emotional eating, and basically give you a whole bunch of easy strategies for dealing with stress. The point of the program is not to overwhelm people, because it's aimed at overwhelmed, busy people. The point of the program is little bits, little snippets, and just learning stuff to manage stress, because it's not about, are you stressed? Like, we all have stress. Stress happens. It's just being alive is stressful. It's just about how you learn to manage that and how you learn to respond to that. So the link is above. I'll pop it below as well. But join our Stress Less program. And when you buy one, you get a discount code for the second person who gets 50% off. So then you can do it with your partner or your best friend or whoever you'd like to do it with. And they get half price, or you can work out between you the price or whatever. But anyway, Very good price, $97, and you'll get access to myself and Rebecca, who are both health professionals, for 6 weeks to support you in your stress and teach you lots of strategies. So anyway, today is a really good example of what you learn in that program, and we go a lot deeper and look at all these topics individually and basically help you manage your stress, because let's face it, stress in life isn't necessarily going to go away. It's just about just learning how to manage it well, and how to survive it and get to the other side of it. So anyway, I hope those tips were useful, and I'd love to see you in our Stress Less program starting on the 21st. So the link is above and I'll pop it below. Okay, have a lovely day. I'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.